you doing this morning?
I'm good, yeah.
You're keeping you busy, I hear.
Yeah, keeping me busy, so it's good, you know?
Yeah.
I came all the way from Ireland, so I'm glad that I'm busy.
I'm going to kick things off with a few questions before we do turn things over to the fans. So if you have any questions, start thinking now. But I want to go all the way back to the beginning of your career. What was the thing that made you realize you wanted to become an actor? Was it seeing somebody else in a role and you're like, I want to do that? Or was it theater? What made you start?
Well, I was obsessed with watching movies and stuff as a kid. I joined the youth theatre in my hometown completely by accident. I had friends in it, and they were doing like a little one-act play that one of the girls had written, you know, when we were like 14, 15. And I was meeting they were in it, and my two friends, I was meeting them for a coffee or just to hang out. So I went to meet them there, and somebody hadn't shown up. And they said, oh, we need somebody to read just this part so we can do it. I said, oh, no way. And then they ended up offering me the part, and they accepted it. And I ended up joining the youth theatre then with those guys on a Saturday in my hometown of Drogheda. And I was really quiet as a teenager, so I realized very quickly it gave me a voice that I didn't think I had, and I could pretend to be somebody else, which I really enjoyed. So that was kind of it. We then, within a year, we were doing a play with the youth theatre, but we got invited to do it in the Olivier in London, which is the National Theatre in London. And it's huge. There's like 2,000 people at the performance. We had a standing ovation, and you know, we were from a small town, and this was proper. Like the National Theatre in London that's it. You know what I mean? And I went, oh, this is nice. And so I realized then that I wanted to kind of keep doing it. And luckily, I've been very lucky to have some sort of a career. So, so that was kind of it.
I love when people have their origin stories on stage, but I'm curious, how did you make the jump onto screen? What were those first roles that you started booking that kind of helped build your career?
I started doing kind of small bits on Irish TV, and I was very lucky. The first TV thing I did in Ireland after I left college, I won an award, an Irish Film and Television Award for, and then I started to get small, you know, bits that were good, and I did an episode of The Tudors, which was a Showtime show.
I think a few people saw that, right?
I was only in like 10 minutes of the episode or something like that, but it was like a love story with Princess Mary, who was played by Sarah Bolger, who ended up playing Aurora on Once Upon a Time. And a casting director in Los Angeles reached out to me back when it wasn't weird for people to message it online and stuff, asking me if I had representation in America, and I didn't, you know. So I ended up, I kind of had a feeling, I wasn't going to go because I was like, oh, it's a big trip. I just had a feeling I should go. And I was getting married like a couple of months later, and we didn't have a lot of money, you know. I was doing small plays, I was playing in a band, and that was kind of how I was earning money, was playing in a band. But it wasn't a huge money, so and we were saving for a wedding. Well, my wife said to me, you know, I think you should go. So I went, and my friend, who's one of my best friends now, Sherry, who was the casting director, set me up in some meetings, and she said, don't sign with anyone. Wait, create a buzz, and then come back. So I came back just after our honeymoon. 6 months later, I was sitting on set with Anthony Hopkins playing the lead in a movie. And I was like, I don't know how this happened. But I had a feeling, people were telling me, my agent in Ireland at the time and in London, they were saying, no, don't go, wait till you have something bigger to go over with. And I was kind of, well, a legitimate casting directors reached out to me to say, if you come, I'll help you. I was kind of like, why would I sit and wait? I just had a feeling I had to go. And I was very, very lucky because it doesn't happen, you know. Acting's very, like I never thought that I would do something like Once Upon a Time, or that I'd do a movie like that with Anthony Hopkins. I just wanted to do anything. I wanted to act. You know, I never thought about fame or money. It was never about that. And I was working for 10 years in Ireland as an actor, at least at that stage. You know, and there were times where you want to give up. You go, I'm not making a living here. It's actually costing me sometimes to try and do this. But I just had that feeling that this was it. And luckily, you know, it doesn't happen for everyone, but I was very lucky. So.
And The Right is a fantastic film, and I'm curious to know, working alongside Anthony Hopkins for your big Hollywood debut like that, what were some of the things that you learned from him?
I mean, just being in his presence, you learn. I was very lucky. He knew how hard I was working on the movie, so he really took me under his wing, and you know, he showed me his whole process of how he works. And for an actor to do that for another actor, especially an older, I mean, one of the great, well, in my opinion, I think the greatest living actor. Yeah. And for him to take that, you know, sort of want to teach me and help me, it just meant so much. And interestingly, and I haven't said this, and I hope it doesn't go online because I don't want him to find out. I actually ended up spending the weekend with him 3 weeks ago in London, and we just watched movies for the weekend. And on Saturday when I arrived, he wanted to watch The Right, so we watched it together.
Is that the first time you'd watched it?
It's the first time I'd watched it since it came out. It's the first time he'd watched it, and yeah, it was surreal sitting there, looking at him. You know, but yeah, just I feel very blessed to get that experience, you know, because he's so kind. He's really a wonderful man, and you know, I was very lucky because sometimes, you know, my first film, I could have worked with somebody who might not have wanted to do that, you know, and I was nervous, you know, but I knew I'd be okay because we had to do a chemistry read before I got the part. The director really wanted me. I think the studio felt like they needed to get a big name for the role because it was a big movie. It was like, you know, and once Anthony Hopkins had signed on, I think that they felt a little bit more relieved that they could go with somebody completely unknown. But we had to do a read together, and I arrived to the place that we were doing it before him, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna mess this up. You know, what do I do? And he walked in, and he was filming Thor at the time, so he's a big beard and stuff. And, first thing he did was he came over to me to give me a hug. Aww. And he said, let's just play. And it put me at ease, and I went, okay, well, if I get it, I know I'm going to be safe here. I'm not going to be annoying him, or I'm not going to be, you know what I mean? So that was it.
Such a sweet story. Thank you for sharing that. I wanted to jump ahead to a more recent project of yours, The Grey House, which I loved, currently streaming on Prime.
Thank you.
What drew you to that project?
I think it's an incredible story. You know, it's based on a true story of a family, mostly a mother and a daughter in Richmond, in Virginia during the Civil War, who used their influence as high society people to help free slaves. And they ran an underground railroad to free slaves, and then they ended up using that to give secrets, because they had such influence that they had a lot of the Confederates in the house and stuff who would, you know, at parties and stuff, then they would use secrets to help pass information on to help end the Civil War. And I just thought it was an incredible story. So, you know, I was lucky to be small. I haven't seen it.
You haven't?
No, it wasn't released in Ireland.
Should be streaming it right now.
I know, yeah. So I don't even know what episode I come in.
Episode 3.
Because originally it was 2 2-hour, it was like an event series thing. So, but it was, yeah, I was very lucky, you know, to get to do a period piece. And he was a captain, so I knew I could do it.
Experience. But what was it like filming in Romania? As sad as I am that the show didn't film in Virginia, but what was that experience like?
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. The sets, the costumes, everything about it was, you know, amazing. It was hot. Bucharest gets really hot in summer, like 40 degrees. So what's that in Fahrenheit? It's about 110, 115 maybe. So it gets hot. But no, it was great. It was really, really fun.
And then jumping into Once Upon a Time, which I'm sure a lot of people here want to hear about.
They're all like, stop talking about little stuff. Do your hook voice.
A few years removed now from the series and getting to do more conventions and talking with fans who, for a lot of them, I know there's newcomers to the fandom who are just now discovering about Disney Plus. What is kind of your relationship to that series like evolved into now, you know, with reflection, looking back at it, as well as hearing stories about how that show has kind of impacted people?
I just feel so very lucky to have been a part of a show that means so much to people, and that's not just a cult thing. No. Did I say, was that funny? But in the sense of, I think once goes deeper with people, you know what I mean? And what's great about it is that families watched it together, grandparents watched it with their grandkids, and all that kind of stuff. And that's what I mean, is that it was a show about hope, and there's not many shows that are just purely about hope. And I think it, you know, it seems like it's had a really positive impact on people. So I just feel very lucky to have been a part of it. I loved it. It was a huge part of my life. You know, many people here know my kids were born while we were filming. You know, it was a massive part of my life. So, you know, I just feel very blessed to be a part of it.
You came in season 2. Did you know that you were going to be in it for the long haul, or was it kind of like every season, you know, you had to wait to find out how much longer Hope would be around? I'm always curious about that.
What happened with me was I came on as a guest star. Now, Eddie and Adam had said to me that they were hoping to set up a love triangle with Emma, with Balefire, and with Hook. And they wanted me to be the Sawyer character from Lost. So it's going to be similar to that, where he was kind of like, you know, the bad boy kind of thing. So I kind of knew that it was percolating. My option got picked up before my episode even aired, so it was pretty quick. So I knew that I had a good inclination that it was going to be for a while. And also, when they announced that Captain Hook was coming into the show at Comic-Con after the first season, it was massive. It was a big deal. So I had a feeling. And then the show, while we were shooting it, you know, you kind of wait for the network to pick it up every year. But we knew. I mean, it was such a big hit. Once Upon a Time, that we kind of knew every year that it was going to go. Yeah, so I sort of half knew, you know. Yeah.
Do you remember what that audition process was like?
I do.
Would you like to talk about it?
I will. I got sent the scenes. I had done a pilot for ABC the same year, Once Upon a Time as a pilot, so I knew that ABC liked me, and I got sent Captain Hook stuff, and I was like, there's no way. I was like, there's no way I'll be playing it anyway, because Captain Hook to me was an older guy, you know. I was like, they're going to go for somebody older. So I said, right, well, I'm just going to do what I want. And I went in, read the audition, and the response in the room with casting was like, straight away, they were like, this is great. I was like, yeah, okay. I got a call that afternoon, I think it was that So it was kind of, I was really surprised, you know. But luckily I did it because, you know, I'm sitting here now. And there's more than 2 people here. So that's good.
And Once Upon a Time always had so many fun plots, and people were always kind of like doing theories about what's going to happen next. And I'm always curious to know, like, what were some of your personal favorite moments for Hook? Because he really did go on such an interesting arc and journey throughout the series.
I mean, there was so much. I was really lucky that I think I nearly worked with every character in the show at some point. I think there was only maybe 10, 15 of the guest stars that I didn't actually work with. So it's hard to pick one because, I mean, he was all over the place. So the relationship with Emma was really good. I always loved the stuff with Rumpelstiltskin. We had really good, you know, sort of banter. The twist with Peter Pan was a big one. I thought that was really good. I mean, there's so much.
How much fun was the musical?
I hate the musical. It was a lot of fun. We were excited because, I mean, look, there were a lot of shows at the time doing musical episodes, and some of them you were a bit like, how are they? If there's one show on TV that can lend itself to a musical episode, it's Once Upon a Time. So we were all really excited, and for it to be like the wedding episode, it was, you know, it was a lot of fun, and yeah, it was great.
How much prep time do you have for an episode like that? Because obviously with network TV, there's really quick turnarounds, but for something like a musical and so many different moving parts, what was that
I'm trying to think now. I think it might have been like a couple of weeks. Like we knew in advance that we were going to do it, but maybe 3 weeks. I would say 2 or 3 weeks, maybe. Maybe. Normally we get an episode the week before we'd start shooting. And then, so that was how quick it was normally. With that one, obviously, we had to go record the songs. You know, you had to do some choreography, all that kind of stuff. So it was a little bit longer, but it wasn't like 2 or 3 months. You know what I mean? It was fairly quick.
Really quick turnaround there. Are you ready for some fan questions?
Yes.
We have a microphone over here and a microphone over here, and we are going to start over here first because we have people already lined up. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name is Sarah, and the question is about Once Upon a Time. Because it went over so many classic fairy tales, was there any story that you wanted to see explored that you haven't seen in other media?
I would have liked to have seen how they would have introduced like Winnie the Pooh or something. I mean, they had Pongo the dog, you know. So yeah, so I would have liked to have seen how they would have introduced some of those, if they could have.
Little trip through the 100-acre woods.
Yeah.
Back over here now. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, good morning. I'm Rebecca. I wanted to know what was your favorite season to film?
Season 2. I'm gonna have to pick that. Look, I enjoyed them all, but season 2 because I had no idea what the show was really coming onto it. It wasn't on in Ireland at the time, so I didn't realise how big a show it was, and I got to be a villain that season, and that's what I thought. I really liked doing the dark one as well. What season is that? Season 5. Yeah.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Jade. Nice to meet you, Colin.
Nice to meet you too.
My question is, if given the chance, what other Disney villain would you like to play one day?
Other Disney villain. Darth Vader. Yeah. I mean, technically, he's a Disney villain now, isn't he?
I mean, it's owned by Disney. Disney has its rights to Star Wars.
Yeah, I think so.
It can count. That counts.
Thank you.
Great question, thank you. Back over here. Hi, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Susan, and you said you were in a band. So, what did you play, or did you sing, or?
I sang a little bit. I played the guitar and the mandolin. So yeah, I used to play those. Now you went ooh like that. You don't know if I'm any good. So, but that's what I played. Maybe not very well.
Was it like, what kind of music was it?
We were a cover band, so we basically covered anything. Anything that would get us paid. But we were good. Yeah.
How are the enemies these days? Are they still playing?
Yeah, they're still playing. Yeah, they're busy. So, yeah, it was good. I did a gig with them recently. I got up and played, which was a lot of fun. So, yeah, I just love music, love the guitar.
Very nice, thank you for your question. Back over here now. Hi, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, I'm Nadia. Lately in media, there's been a lot of representation of Irish culture and all of that, with Jessie Buckley winning the award for Hamnet and the character Remy from Sinners. And I'm just curious what it means to you to represent Ireland, especially considering like how big of a stage it's getting lately.
I mean, I don't know if I represent Ireland. I'm very proud to be Irish. I think I love being Irish. I think we have a tradition and a culture of storytelling in Ireland. And I think it's amazing to see that be recognised. I mean, look, there's always been incredible Irish actors who've, you know, like Richard Harris, Peter O'Toole, this is like, you know, so there's always been that there, but yeah, it's just like we're a small country, we're very small, and to be able to have some sort of impact on the world and it be positive is great, you know.
Great question, thank you. What's your name? What's your question?
Hello, I'm Ariana. I want to ask you a question that I've also gotten to ask both Joe Morrison and La Brea. If you were to play any other character on the show, who would you play and why?
Rumpelstiltskin, because it's crazy. I just think it'd be a lot of fun. I kind of half did a little bit of Rumpelstiltskin when I was the dark one, and Bobby was not happy. So I said that there was a line where I said, I think it was, "Get your affairs in order, dearie." And he didn't know I was going to do it. And he didn't like it.
Great question, thank you. Back over here now. Hi, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Emma, and I was wondering what was your favorite scene to film?
My favorite scene to film, so this is a tough one because I got asked it and there was so many great scenes that I got to do, and the stunts, and you know, there was sword fights, there was stuff on the, you know, the Jolly Roger or whatever, but if I had to pick one, it was probably my first scene, which was on the Lady Washington, which was the Jolly Roger, and we were out at sea in Vancouver and the islands, and I was with Robert Carlyle, who's one of my favourite actors, and I was wearing leather pants. And I think that was probably, that stands out most for me. Just the whole scale of it was incredible. You know, and I was a pirate. But you know what I mean, it was a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Great question. Back over here now. Hi, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name's Harley. So I actually had a question about so you're Irish, from Irish descent, and so it's, instead of James Bartholomew Hook, in the story you go by Killian Jones Hook, so how did that go from James to Killian?
So I had nothing to do with that. So
You're not,
I don't know.
You're not Adam and Eddie?
I'm not, no. I did want to play Hook as Irish, originally, but they wanted him to be English because traditionally he's British, so and it makes for a good villain. So like, I mean, how many movies are there in shows with a villain that's British? So that's not a comment on the British. That's just a movie fact, okay? Let's move on. But I don't know. I think they might have picked Killian, maybe because I was Irish, but I honestly don't know. I'll ask them next week.
Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name's Harold, and I got the privilege to do both panels, so I was there at 1:30 yesterday. So I have two questions. One was that, did you finally get to meet Jim Cummings?
Not yet.
And then the follow-up question was, in the last panel we had talked about obviously having like a pirates like mix-up or mash-up. What about Dustin Hoffman as Captain Hook joining that mash-up look?
I mean, they should get Dustin Hoffman and Jason Isaacs and me. We should do like a movie where they all bump into each other.
Thank you.
I think that'd be fun.
Thank you. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name is Killian. I'm really excited to be here. I'm named after a character you played, so I'd say hello.
Hello. Can I give you a hug? Nice one. Is that your mum and dad down there? Is he really named after my character? Just be glad you weren't called Hook.
We're gonna stick over here. Hi, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Erin, and I was wondering, as a fellow theater kid, and an appreciation of theater, and as an Irish person as well, of Irish descent, I know accents are very difficult to manage, so how did you work on your accent and changing your Irish accent to a more British accent and finding that voice for Hook?
I grew up watching British and American TV. That's like all I watched, in Ireland. And from when I was a kid, I used to just walk around doing accents. I don't know why. I just, I would just walk around and do like an Australian accent or a Scottish accent, or, and I think it just sort of embeds. I love music. I'm also not saying I'm good again, here, but I do think it's a musical thing. So, I just think it's, I think it was just doing that. Like I used to, working with Bobby, and I used to love, you go around and you start to sound like that, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, Cole. It's like, sound like you're from Scotland, you know what I mean? And I love all that. I love sounding like that, you know what I mean? Walk around and talking to people, all right. You know what I mean? And so it just sort of, and for me to, like doing an accent allows me to stop being me when I'm playing a character. So, like, Hook sounds very like this, which is completely different than the way I talk. It's a lot slower, it's a lot deeper, and it's kind of a little bit more, I don't know, sultry, I suppose. Whereas I talk like an idiot. So I think that's part of it too, is it allows me to go out of myself and, sound like somebody completely different, and then you take on a character.
Thank you.
Great question. Back over here now. Hi, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, good morning. My name is Jules. My question is if you had the chance for a do-over from day one on once, what, or if, would there be a different trait you would either add to or take away from Killian's character?
I wouldn't change anything. Like it,
I think we all agree. We all agree.
I'd like him to be maybe 2 inches taller. That would be nice. But I was pretty happy with. I think I was pretty happy with Hook. I don't think like I said, I got to play so many different variations of Hook as well. So there's not really anything that you go, oh, I wish that I could have done that. I wish I could have done that, because like I've got a feeling that somebody's going to know this. I might have played like 4 different versions of that character at different points. So no, I wouldn't have changed anything. Not at all. More eyeliner. Some people keep telling me when they meet me, they go, oh, you know, you just look so much better with the eyeliner. So, thank you.
Thank you. Back over here now. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name is Jordan, and I was just wondering if there was anything funny that happened on set or an interesting thing about the filming of Once Upon a Time that fans would be surprised to learn.
I mean, I'm sure people have seen the bloopers. I was always messing up, so there was lots of funny things happened. The funniest, although it wasn't very funny at the time, I'll make it as PG as I can for the kids, is we had a scene, I've got a feeling in season 2, where Bobby he grabs me on the ground, and I was in the rain and stuff, and he jumps on top of me to beat me up. Whatever way he jumped on top of me, his knee was in a very, very delicate area. So it's funny when you look at the bloopers. It wasn't incredibly funny at the time. So that was it. Josh Dallas had a fart machine in Neverland. And he would hide it in different spots in the trees. So that was another thing, but yeah, I think the one with Bobby was probably the funniest, looking back on it.
Great question. Back over here now. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name is Trish, and I was just wondering, is there any videos of your band on YouTube?
I don't know, and I don't know. So there.
I didn't have another question, but somebody else said it for me, because I was going to ask, how did you feel like acting like Rumpelstiltskin as the dark one?
Oh, I mean, look, I was delighted to be the dark one, because then you're like, cool. And I love that storyline, because it gave Emma and Hook something really, I think I said it yesterday, but when he asks her to kill him, and she does, it's really heartbreaking. That was a really tough, really tough scene to film with Jen, both of us. It was really tough. We did it like at 3 a.m, freezing cold, and then we had to do reshoots of it, and it was just really emotionally draining, but I think it was really good. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. But again, like, there's another Hook character that I forgot about. So, yeah.
Thank you. Great job. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name is Bia, and I'm from Brazil, so excuse my English. And also, I have a gift for you later. So,
Oh, thank you.
yeah. What advice would you give to someone trying to grow as an actor right now? Because I want to be an actress when I grow up.
What advice would I give somebody who wants to be an actor? If you love it, just keep doing it. It's a hard profession, but it's very rewarding, because you get to, like, if you're lucky, you get to do something like this. But like, for me, like, acting is like my therapy. Do you know what I mean? If I'm having a bad day, boom, it goes into the character. If I'm upset, it goes into the character. But stick with it, and if you believe in yourself, keep going. And even if it's just doing workshops, or it's just doing local theatre, or if it's just keep that momentum going in for yourself, that artistic expression is really important.
And also, why can I give my gift to you?
At
What?
a table.
Yeah, I guess at my table, yeah, later on.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you, though.
Back over here. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name's Katie, and I was wondering what's your favorite skill you haven't been able to use on film, or film or theater, whichever you prefer.
I'm really good at the funky worm. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. But
Let's see it now.
No. Unless you've got a lot of money to pay me. No. I have my glasses in my pocket, so I'm not afraid.
And then just a part two, what's a skill that you learned on screen, and what's your favorite one that you learned?
My favorite one was learning to shuffle a deck of cards one-handed for once upon a time, which was really, really hard, but I did it, and it was great. So that was another one of the moments where Eddie and Adam wrote something in the script for me to do, forgetting that I only had one hand. Genuinely. I was like, guys, I have one hand. You'd be okay. So, but no, I did it. And they had a magician there on the day of filming, just in case. And I was like, well, I just learned it, guys. I spent like 2 weeks learning how to do this, and you don't trust me to do it, but I got it first time because I'm really good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Got that good form.
Nice. Well done.
Hi, what's your name? What's your question? My name's Emmeline. My question is not about Once Upon a Time, but I was wondering, what was your favorite part about filming The Grey House?
I did most of the horse stunts myself. So that was good. I used to ride horses as a kid. I did it for like 8 years. I hadn't done it in a long time. So I was lucky to get to do that, which was fun, you know, galloping, you know, shooting things. So it's like one of those kid things that you want, you know, to play like, I don't know, like a cowboy or whatever, you know. So that was probably my favorite part. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Questions. We have about 5 minutes left, so I think we can get through everybody. Hi, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Will, and I was wondering if Disney called, will you step into Jack Sparrow?
If they called, would I do Jack Sparrow? I mean, I totally would. Is that good? Is that good? Is that a good Jack Sparrow? You have to walk a certain way. I'm already a pirate, so I think if they wanted me, they should put Captain Hook into Pirates of the Caribbean.
Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name is Penelope, and my question is about Once Upon a Time. Did you ever get confused with the characters, because there's so many different relationships, because there's so many different stories and they combine them all into one? How would you deal with?
So I didn't get confused because my character just flirted with everybody. So if I was a bit confused about what was happening, I would just say something saucy to the person. Even if it was a guy, I didn't know. So I didn't get confused. So no, I was very lucky. But no, I didn't really get confused at all, actually. I think it was very clear. I mean, look, Once Upon a Time is complex. You know, it was a complex show. It really was. And I think it's a testament to the writers, not just Eddie and Adam, to all the writers that they had on the show, that they were able to figure it out. So, but no, my character just honestly did flirt with everybody. So you're too young to know what that means. But,
Thank you.
Thank you.
back over here. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name is Michaela. You are my favorite character, followed by Rumpelstiltskin.
Correct.
My question is, not counting Marvel, Star Wars, or Peter Pan, if you could live in any Disney world, which would it be?
Am I Captain Hook in it, or am I me?
You can be whoever you want to be.
Any Disney one?
Not counting Marvel, Star Wars, or Peter Pan.
Not counting that. Oh, I was going to say one of those. I thought you said in one of those. Okay. I would want to live in Cars. I would want to live in Radiator Springs. What kind of car would I be? I'd be something black. I'd be something European and very high powered. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm PJ. I was wondering, have you seen the Descendants films? And if so, what did you thought about Captain Hook's son in those films? He feels more inspired by your character of Captain Hook versus the animated film.
So I haven't seen it. It's shot in Vancouver. I haven't seen it because I'm too jealous that somebody young was playing Captain Hook. But I know Keegan was in it. Wasn't she in it? I think there was a couple of people maybe from once were in it. They never asked me. So I haven't seen it. But was he wasn't in it. He wasn't inspired by Once Upon a Time.
He felt like he was more a version of your version of Captain Hook versus the animated.
Yeah, he had the guy liner.
Yeah.
The swagger.
Yeah.
He acted all crazy and everything.
Wasn't he as good? Then maybe I'll watch it.
Thank you for your question. Hi, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name's Jamie. My question is, did you get to keep your hook hand, or did you take anything with you from the set that you got, that you used, or?
I mean, some people know this. I have a load of stuff. I have my entire Captain Hook costume. I have the black leather vest. I've got the red vest. I have my hook. I have my sword, which was black, which was a real sword. They had to dull it. I have the Excalibur. Yeah. I have some stools from Ronnie's bar from season 7, because we needed stools in the kitchen. I have a replica of the Jolly Roger. Bye. Yeah, so I've got one of the books from Hades. Remember there was like all the Black Story books? Yeah, I got one of those. They'll all be available on eBay next week.
So you're like a true pirate.
Yeah. I have all my jewellery, Captain Hook jewellery. Yeah. So, yeah, don't post that on the internet.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you will be our final question. No pressure.
Awesome. My name is Joanna, and me and my family got here a little bit late, so I don't know if anyone's already asked this. But I have a question regarding the musical episode. Do you actually like singing?
Well, I actually like singing. Well, I kind of referenced it that I sang in a band. I like singing. I don't know if I necessarily would listen to me singing.
I mean, I think your song was my favorite. Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, that's a given, but I do like singing, and I don't know, like, yeah, I like it. I'm recording an album next week with Karen David, who played Jasmine, so we're gonna, that's also not saying it's gonna be good, just to be clear. But I just love music, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank all of you, and thank you.
Thanks for